grab your popcorn. It is time for a gigantic supercut of all of my Rhaenyra Targaryen videos of making the gown, from research to a final hymn to creating my wig. I hope you all enjoy this. It's a very long video, but I intended to bring this to you all after I recorded all of my Rhaenyra videos separately. So I hope you all enjoy. Please leave a like and consider subscribing. Here we go.
We're going to start a new series. Yep, we're going to start a new series, and I'm going to call it Becoming Rhaenyra Targaryen, and I'm going to bring you guys with me on literally making every step of this dress. Now we are going to be making this dress whenever this dress decides to pop on the episodes. Right now when I'm recording, episode 6 just dropped a couple days ago. It's midweek, almost to the weekend to see episode 7. So I don't know when this dress is coming, but when it is, this is the one we're making. Okay, now, so the first thing we're going to be doing is trying to find the fabric for this dress. It is becoming a pain. I have determined it is silk, so we're searching for silk. It's a damask pattern, so we're searching for damask. It can be any other type of fabric. Well, silk is the fabric, but other ways of describing the fabric. But those are what we're going with, those 2 code words. Why are you drinking my water, bro? I have tapped out Mood, Fabric.com, Joann's, all of the main ones to try to find this fabric. I'm now on Etsy and eBay, and it is so difficult. I have 2 swatches that I ordered that turned out not to work out. It is a taffeta and a velvet swatch, just because I wanted to see what they looked like in the light. And the taffeta is a sad backup if I want. The velvet's not at all going to work, not nowhere near. But this is the choices that I have so far. That is chenille. It will not work. The fabric will not look anything like that. This one over here is not too terrible. I don't know, but this one's kind of working out, except I cannot tell at all how this fabric, it's not the same damask, but it's very similar. But what is this? Like, I have no swipey, no nothing. I don't know. Yes, and it describes it as jacquard as well, which is fine to also search for. But man, this is, I don't know. Why is there a tiny little violin and a tiny little like Barbie bench? What is this? So I'm currently going to keep going through Google, seeing what I can find in my price range and what I need. If you all happen to see that fabric out there in the wild or know where it would be, send me the links. So, yeah, here's day 1. Actually, this has been like day 5. I've been searching for this fabric for a long time, but here's to seeing how this little series goes. Yay! I'm back, same night. I think I might have found the fabric. So my beautiful, wonderful, lovely friend Haley is also working on Alicent, and she found I believe the exact fabric they used in the show from the UK, from topfabric.uk or .co.uk. And I think I might have found Rhaenyra's fabric as well. This price tag, y'all. Ugh. It's unconfirmed. This might be it, because this is similar to the link that she shared with me for her Alicent fabric. When I say in my price range, I really do mean in my price range. I did the math. I need about 4 yards, which turns out to be that many meters, and it's going to be around 342 pounds, which is roughly similar in US dollars. So I'd say with shipping, this thing will probably top out to like $375 for fabric. It's not impossible. It's very expensive, but I would really like to find a cheaper shipping and cheaper option. So, but it's so beautiful. Look at it. It does read very gray here because I think that's the lighting, but yeah. I'm going to stay close to the costume designer's Instagram. Maybe she'll talk about it when the actual dress drops, because I have a feeling this dress is going to be kind of like the big one that Rhaenyra wears, and everyone's going to love it. So maybe this is the actual fabric. I don't know. I'm not purchasing anything until I actually see the dress on screen. So not a bad idea. I am going to change my keyword searches a little bit. Go back to using jacquard and silk and taffeta into my keyword searches. Maybe I can find something from Mood or something closer and from the US just because shipping costs. Blah. Here's to becoming Rhaenyra Targaryen and the series continuing to go. Hope you guys like these. Let me know. Becoming Rhaenyra Targaryen. I'm back. Different day, different outfit, fresh hair. So let's get into what I have found, which has been some good stuff. All thanks to you guys, honestly. The last video that I posted, you guys gave me some websites to go try. You had some questions, and so I'm gonna answer those, and I'm also gonna show you some really good fabrics that I think could work for Rhaenyra besides going for the big price boy across the, big ocean. Okay, so first off, to refresh everyone's memory, I'll be making this dress. And before we get any further, all these tabs that I have open, I found another picture of the dress, which gives a little more identity to what it will be shaped like. So I'm very happy that there's no giant sleeves here. It looks like there's a really cool embroidery piece in the front and a split that goes into a darker red fabric. I'm excited to figure that out a little bit more. But I found this, just hopping around on the internet, and I'm just very excited because that means there's going to be less fabric I have to buy. Yay. So we have established that, so let's get into some of the websites you guys sent me on the last video. Now, one of you guys sent me to armorandcastings.com, which is a reproduction company for a lot of medieval jewelry, and they said they used a lot of this stuff that they have on their website in the show. I didn't necessarily find any specifically items that go with Rhaenyra and that dress, but I did find this, which looks very similar to the necklace. I mean, although it's circle gems, not necessarily. This I'm going to be hobbling together with stuff I find from Michaels and Joann, so that was what that's from. But I hope that website was really cool, and thank you to whomever sent me that way. Next, you asked who the costume designer is for House of Dragons and her Instagram. It is Janie Tamim. She's a French French costume designer who did a lot of Harry Potter and James Bond movies. She has yet to talk about the dress that we need, but she has talked about the famous green Allison dress. And one of you did send me to fabricdepot.com to take a look at a fabric that you thought would be a good idea. The pattern is there, but it's too beige. But because of this website, I have kind of fallen down the rabbit hole on some other ideas. Here is what I thought was a cool selection. It's not not necessarily the exact thing, but neat and similar look, which led me to the Google searches again and finding some other options. So I'm back to Etsy, getting samples of the chenille one that I thought was cool, and a sample of these two that are neat, but not necessarily the exact pattern, but they're just really cool. I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for following. Just finished watching episode 7, and guess what's coming next week? The dress is coming! These are obviously screenshots from the trailer, but it looks like the dress that I'm going to be working on is coming next episode. I am so hyped. It seems like it's going to be coming at a funeral. To my thoughts, this is going to be her funeral dress she wears to her father's funeral, thinking that's what I think is going to be happening next episode. But I'm very excited. We have some more little snippet footage, still only waist up, so I can't really see how much fabric I still need to buy, and the color of the split in the front that I talked about in my video I released earlier. But it's here. It's time. It's coming. I can't wait to start working on this thing. So I think those swatches that I ordered in the last video are going to get here soon. Hopefully they'll work, and then we can get started. I think the red fabric I'll probably be able to find at like Joann's or something, depending on what it is. Hopefully it's not insanely patterned or embroidered or anything, but it's Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. It probably will be. But anyways, next week, episode 8, we see the dress, final premiere. I had to come in and say that. I'm so hyped. Also, that episode just took me for a win. It was fantastic. I love the show so much. Yep. Becoming Rhaenyra Targaryen. We're almost there for more research. I'll do a breakdown video of the outfit when I can get a little bit more footage of the actual outfit, and we'll go into the embroidery and how we're going to do it. But yes, next week. I'm just on fire with these videos, so I got inspired to work on Rhaenyra's hair tonight. Here's where we are. I'll show you. Okay, may I present to you half of Rhaenyra's hair. This is my old Daenerys wig, so it is now up a couple generations into Rhaenyra Targaryen. And I really wanted to see how, once again, we are doing that hair. I really wanted to see how much more hair I would need to sew in this wig to get the fullness of those braids, because Targaryen hair is not real, and there's tons and tons of extra hair in that wig, even though it may not look like it. So, turns out there is going to be. So this is just two small little braids, kind of waterfall braids that are braided into one that I have collected in the center back of the hair and then flipped to make it cascade down alongside the wig. This is where my ear goes, so it's pretty similar, but as you can see, that braid is absolutely perfect, which means it is not, I mean, she's obviously wearing a wig. We know this. Well, what I mean is that, like, regular knotted in hair on top of a cap plus more hair is going to need to be sewn in, because look how short this little guy is, and this is a very long wig. So tonight, after I get done with this video, I'm going to go and order more hair to be able to sew into this. And I think as I'm waiting on swatches and fabric for Rhaenyra, I'm just going to go ahead and make her hair. I'm going to finish this. You guys are going to see it. I'm going to take you all along in the journey of making the hair and probably the necklace, because I want to do some little costuming tests with the hair and the necklace to make sure it all looks good, because Targaryen hair is just as important as the outfit. I was hoping to do a cos test this weekend on it. I still might. We'll see. I'll fish around with it a little bit. But for those of you asking, in the comments is a link or the search engine search terms for this wig. This is a wig from wigisfashion.com. I purchased it a couple years ago for Daenerys. I believe they have the same one up. If you click their House of Dragons tab, I think it's the same one for Rhaenyra. But anyways, the link is in the comments for that if you're interested in getting that. So yeah, here's to some more hair journeys coming up. That's probably what we're going to be working on. Yay! My mental health needs a crafting trip, so let's go to Michael's and maybe Joann's to get the supplies to make Rhaenyra's necklace tonight. Ooh. So Michael's didn't really cut it. They had some things, but nothing close to Rhaenyra's necklace, but there were dragon pendants, and I had to get, because dragon. And also, these existed. These glass beads with the colors of her necklace, which is this, coppery color. I thought these would work good for her earrings. I don't know. I think I'll use them. I might not, but... Auntie Joanne, I'm here. Let's find what I need, please. We all know this is a hobbit door, not a fairy door. Come on, Hildy and Joe. Get your fantasies right. Hobbit. Copyright. Yeah, I know copyright, but like Hobbit. Auntie Joanne came through. I believe this is the best haul that I have so far for her necklace. Okay, so here's the main one that we got. It is shaped a little different. I realize that. But of what was there, this is the best we can do. All I have to do is chip off these rhinestones, put red ones on. Or actually, the ones around, I might not put anything, but I might just because bougie. And then here's the little end caps that can go on the edge. Once again, I can take these off and put different beads or something, or paint the back of this if I can scrape off that like pearlized look underneath and use those gems. So I feel like these will work. However, here are also the rhinestones that I got to replace the the white rhinestones. Doo-doo-doo. However, I want to make one more trip. I think I have to go to Hobby Lobby. And that is only because I want to see what they have. I really would like this to be as accurate as possible. I am not a Hobby Lobby shopper. I'm pretty sure I will burst into flames when I walk in through the door, just engulf. But for the sake of this project and for the sake of Rhaenyra, we're going to Hobby Lobby. I did not burst into flames, but the amount of Christmas stuff here is abnormal. Hobby Lobby had nothing, so let's go make this necklace. Okay, so these bastards are not coming off of this pendant.
So I am coloring the gemstones, ladies and gentlemen, using brown and red Sharpies. It's working out just fine. All right, finished it. Boop, boop. And I put the wig on just to play around. It's not the full finished style, but hey, this turned out pretty good. Mental health is now refreshed. New photos of Rhaenyra's gown have popped on Twitter. Holy cow! I'm doing a little walk home from lunch, but it looks like Rhaenyra's gown, we finally have a full image from top to bottom. Something I needed, and I wasn't going to step any further into buying more fabric or anything. But we finally got them. Thank you, Twitter. And I think it was Out of Context House of Dragons account. And also thank you to Haley, my beautiful, beautiful friend who is also getting her Alicent together. So go over to her channel and find it. It's Hobbit Party. She's fantastic. But y'all, we have it. But first we have to pet my cat. Because he needs the pets. Salem. Salem. Okay, here's image number 1. As dark as this picture is, we can finally get a good look at the silhouette. So it has been confirmed that there's a little, I'm guessing this is some dragons detail embroidery in the front, and it does break open to a darker fabric underneath, or I think it's darker red. Also, this is kind of like a 3/4 sleeve. I wouldn't call it 3/4, maybe 5/8 sleeve, but rolled up, more embroidery on the sleeves. I love it so much. And we're getting some more images of the whole embroidery beading work up here as well. Next one we're going to go into is this full image of Team Black that I cropped in because all just about Rhaenyra right now. So we finally get a full silhouette. So I pictured this dress to be way more slender, way more hugging the body. It is full A-line now. So that adds about 2 to 3 more fabric yardage on my end as far as purchasing fabric goes. So it's beautiful. I love that. I need some more up close, nicer photos, and they'll probably drop in the episode this Sunday. Honestly, I'm not doing any buying until after that thing is over. I do have the hair though for my wig, so I can start working on that too. But I believe that is a darker red beneath the split in the middle. I don't know if this is like a coat. I think it is just a regular dress with a split in the middle. It is princess seams. There is a seam straight up the middle as well. As probably the back is just a regular center back. And I'm loving it. Oh my God. I'm very happy about this. Also, I have people in Twitter space have told me that there might be some embroidery on the bottom edge of the hem. We'll get some closer looks on Sunday. Waiting for that. But for right now, it looks like there's just a horsehair braid interfacing on the edge of the hem to give it a little billowy look, which I'm down for because I put those on all my outfits. But yeah, what do you think? We finally have a full image of the freaking dress. It took long enough. Sunday can't come quicker. Okay, I think I figured out the style for Rhaenyra's hair. Also, check out my necklace I just made. New necklace. But I think I figured out the style for Rhaenyra's hair that goes with her outfit that I'm making. Look! It's messy as hell because everything's just pinned in and not sewn in. But you can see under here is a big chunk of weft that I bought and sewn together. There's 2 different colors. We'll go over that in a second. In here. And basically it's going to be sewn into if this is how the style is going to be, which I think it is, it's going to be sewn into the wig cap here. And honestly, it's going to be braided down into here. The top part of the hair will come over and overlap here. And I'm braiding the top hair from the wig and the weft extension into one big braid, thus making it all the way down. So I think that's how it is. It's, like I said, real messy, and I think it also needs to be up a little bit higher. It's kind of sinking down. I think it needs to be more on the crown of her head instead of the back part of her head. And then it's just going to be pinned and sewn into place. But I think I got it. If this is how it is. Now, who knows? There might be some other funky thing going on back here, but we'll get images on Sunday's episode. But I'm very happy with that, how that works out and how it looks, considering the colors of wefts that I got. Let me show you. So there's no color correction here on this video. This is literally the colors that you are seeing that I purchased. So I got this platinum and more of a honey color, regular blonde, and these are blended together. Now they're all little clips because these are actually cheaper to get sometimes than actual wefts. And the Wiggis Fashion doesn't sell wefts in that color, so I'm going to have to make my own. So basically what I did is that I took 1 2-piece clip-on weft. I'm taking the clips off of these, obviously. And then 4 clip-ons into one, and I sandwiched this in the middle. So I will kind of show you what it ends up looking like. Here is the weft sandwich, or at least the top part of it. It is the lighter platinum blonde on out both sides with that yellowy, more yellow, brassy blonde in between. And when you sandwich them and I've said sandwich way too many times, but when you make a weft extension like this and you start to braid it, the colors do blend. And so it gets a better looking, more dimensional hair color besides just one flat color. Because I do believe that her hair is more ash blonde, which is more Daenerys, than blonde or platinum. And so that's a combination of colors, if you guys are curious on how the actual wig is for Rhaenyra. But yep, here it is. There's the weft. Next step is to finalize the hair after Sunday's episode. Woo! It is Saturday before episode 8 premieres, and I have a little more thoughts on the dress for Rhaenyra and her hair based on images that came out yesterday. Thank you, Twitter. It's been golden. I'm going to put myself over here in this little corner, but let's talk about the dress here and the hair. We finally got some really good pictures of how the hair is styled, which I do think has changed my style that I have thought about for her hair, but not too much to where the wefts that I made are going to work just fine. But one, she's kind of holding her stomach. What does that mean? Baby coming, obviously, but seriously. But I don't think she's like full pregnant in this outfit. She looks pretty slim from some of the side ones. She might be a couple months, but am I going to wear a baby belly underneath of it? No. However, this image gives a good dress image and hair image, and I really like it. And also it gives a little bit more idea on the color of the split in the front. And I think it is a nice deep burgundy red. I really appreciate this picture because we are getting more information and higher res pictures from Twitter, weirdly, of the beadwork and embroidery. And I think I'm going to be starting on the center embroidery beadwork thing first and then work on the top once I have like sizes and figure out how to do that like dragon snake thing. We're gonna have a journey, y'all. Like the beadwork and the embroidery on this. We're going to have to do some experimentation and figure out how this works. But we'll figure it out. Don't worry. We got this. Here is another image I did find of her hair in better definition. And it is that piece on the top, that big braid going down the sides does look like a sewn-in piece of weft. And then the parts of the braids on her top head and then the side of her head will be braided into one braid. But there's a couple different definitions of hair going on here, which I really appreciate this picture for. Also kind of really cool cloak. Also, we're zooming in close here because her earrings are now hoops. There went my glass bead theory. Oh, well. But that's okay. Easy. I think those actually will probably be easy to find or make. No big deal. But also, look at this close-up of the embroidery. That, like, snake texture. It looks like one long piece that was created and then placed onto the dress instead of, like, sewn individually onto the dress. That's going to be really interesting to figure out. I think they're going to have to do a lot of like trim experimentation and just using different weird fabrics to get that embroidery texture that we want. I live for this stuff. This is beautiful. And like the points of her shoulders. So good. I did order a few more swatches of fabric, so they're going to be coming in soon. So we'll have fabric choices and videos, but also thank you guys for coming along on this journey. I see you guys are watching these and loving them. I can't wait to make more. Happy Saturday. House of Dragons is tomorrow. We only have like 2 more episodes left after tomorrow. Episode 8 has dropped. I've finished it and I'm still trying to breathe from that episode. Whoa. It was gorgeous. It was amazing. It was intense. It was beautiful. But you're not here for a review of that episode. You're here for what I thought about the gown that finally decided to come to my not my attention, but come to my TV for reasons of screenshotting and research. So here's the fun fact. When I research costumes, I don't really do screenshots because lighting, quality, sharpness, definition, it's gone on a TV and I hate it. So I rely a lot on concept art, the costume designer, if they decide to grace us with any backstage images, and sometimes the actor or the actress or whomever, the actor, drops images of them in the outfit, like in better lighting, like behind the scenes. So that's what I rely on because using post-editing lighting, it's a mess.
But I will say in this episode, we got a lot of angles of the dress, but honestly, nothing new. What I was really looking for were up-close detail shots that we haven't seen. And there's been a couple that I'm pretty happy about. And I'm trying to screenshot, and I'm bringing you all in with how I screenshot, which is kind of sad. Okay, we are on my iPad because I'm listening to the podcast episode on my TV. So we are on my iPad. And if you didn't know this, on HBO, unless you're watching it on something else, like a third-party pirate version, you cannot screenshot. Watch. Screenshot, it becomes blank. It's a whole copyright thing on their end. You can't see what you've done. It's just the nature of the beast with Disney Plus, HBO, and I think all of them do that, honestly. But what matters is this little pause button I have right here. So let's take a closer look. What I'm looking for is more detail shots of the beading and embroidery, and especially this little guy right here, this cute little double dragon beading embroidery thing right above where her dress breaks into that godet that's underneath. Obviously that's there for, baby bump kind of thing, but I wanted some more images of that. Hopefully I can take some screenshots on my computer. Maybe that'll work. Or somebody else will just post little high-res ones off their computer. But like videoing my TV or taking a picture off of my TV with like a camera, it just doesn't really work out great, which sucks. Here's another shot of the back with continued beading on the center back and along the back side. That's going to be a bitch for my wig. I can already tell you. But definition, that's what I needed. Let's hope the costume designer decides to post some behind the scenes in the workshop photos, but this looks like all I got, which is fine, but it's all I got. Hi friends, I'm back and we're going to finish the wig tonight. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on the style based off of imagery from episode 8, and I think we can finish it tonight. Won't be completely finished because I've noticed that there are 2 or 3, actually probably 3 little metal clasps in her hair that I'm going to have to craft. So there's that. But I think we'll be able to finish the complete style tonight. Okay, I've got everything laid out and ready to go. So we've got some white bobby pins. We have clear hair ties. We have our wefts that are created. We have the wig ready to go. Other styling tools. I think we're ready. Oh, I do need my hand sewing tools. Now we can commence. So the first thing we're going to do, or I'm going to do, is I'm going to sew in the wefts to the upper part of the crown of the head. And I'm going to sew them directly onto the wig cap right about here. Before we get too far into the styling and sewing, I guess I can break down the style and what I'm going to try to do. So there are a total of 3 braids on each side of the head. And this one I am thinking is mainly the weft I'll add in with braiding into the hair of the wig. We have a braid here and a braid that overlaps all of that here to kind of cover up everything. Okay, let's get started. Doing this one-handed while I record is extremely difficult. But you don't necessarily have to use a curved needle. I just like them. Okay, the wefts are sewn in now on both sides, facing up because I want that lift to go up and over. I have partitioned this section up here for this braid, which is that one. And then this one down here for the one that goes over top and down. Now, the key thing with this style that I'm finding is that it may look tight, but honestly, you kind of want these 2 braids to be a little loose. So then the big one will be nice and clean and tight. So that's what I'm finding right now. So far, it's working out good. Let's work on this big bad boy. And then I'll get 1/2 of the wig done and show you. Okay, after a lot of trial and error, especially with the big braid, I think I've got it. So this is what half of it looks like. Don't mind the pins. When we're done, we're going to take a steamer and heat set everything. So let's do the mirror on the other side. Okay, she needs a little bit of steam to kind of set everything in place, but I think I got it. I think I got it. Take a look. There's the back, other side. I want to play with it a little bit more to get the center, these big braids to be in the back, center back, and pump up a little bit here, but I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah.
You know, while I have this wig on right now, might as well start showing you guys some samples, some swatches, some things that have come in for Rhaenyra's gown. I'm getting excited. First off, I've got to shout out my wonderful friend, Louisa Silhouette Cosplay, who sent me her leftover Daenerys sequins from her landing gown to use in my gown if I need. Like, this is so wonderful. I'm 100% putting it in there. I need to make sure, you know, I'm not going for 100% screen accurate, but close. But I'm definitely going to put these in there because these are beautiful and exactly what they used in the show. And also she sent me some leftover silk embroidery thread. Thank you so much, Lisa. And this super cute happy dragoning card. Oh my gosh. Targaryens, we stick together. Okay, we have a swatch alert. This is, however, going to be one of the last ones if I choose it. It's a great pattern. Almost perfect. However, it's chenille. It's very thick. It's upholstery fabric. If anything else doesn't work, we will default to this one because it's actually the right color, like vibrancy. The motifs are darker than the other, the negative space. And then the other side, it looks like this. But it's not bad, but hey, we got it in. But it's first, well, actually, this is the third swatch. The other two swatches we did earlier in the other videos, if you wanted to go check those out. So it's okay. Now let me show you what I purchased today. Another big old shout out to Beth of Amazonian Cosplay, who has been helping me figure out all of our charms, beading, random stuff we got to do to embroider onto this gown. My two big purchases first are this gold chafe, and I'm pretty sure these are screen accurate. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, Liz, but I'm pretty sure they are. Or not Liz, Beth, I'm sorry. Beth, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Anyways, I got some of these gold leaf-shaped charms, and I got this fishbone chain in gold to be able to also put on the outfit, and I will show you guys where they go. Also, please ignore the quantities on that Etsy buy page. I took a freaking guess, and so we will see if they're right when they come in. But anyways, the little leaf charms are these guys up here, and that fishbone chain is this big long boy here that we're going to have to sew on some silk embroidery thread throughout to get that big long chain look. But that's what those two are. I will get on here and talk more about the embroidery when I've really got a solid plan so I don't confuse you guys. But those I knew I needed, so I went ahead and grabbed them. I just want to shout out how amazing the Game of Thrones costuming community is. We are all in this together, sharing links, talking about stuff, and it's fantastic, and I really love it. If you are interested in making your own Rhaenyra, go follow Game of Thrones costuming on Facebook. You won't regret it. The swatches are here. All of the swatches are here. Hope you're ready. This whole video will exclusively be choosing the fabric for Rhaenyra. Here's all of them laid out. We have this one. These are separate. This one, and those two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 7 swatches. All right, let's break them down. See what we're going to choose. Contestant number 1. What are you? I am silk fabric. I'm just going to go ahead and drop that game show aspect because we're going to run out of time doing that really quick. But this is a silk, pure silk. It is very lightweight. Colors are perfect. However, I think it might be too lightweight. The next two are from Top Fabric UK. This one I have up until now believed that it is the exact screen accurate fabric of Rhaenyra's gown. I don't think it is now that I have it in my hands, but I really do like it. But this is the 95 pound a meter. 95 pound. It's the $95 a meter fabric. So these are the expensive ones. Next is that chenille one that we talked about in the last video. Heavy, upholstery weight, lots of texture. Not sure if I like the line texture of the weave of this fabric, but the chenille. This one is my favorite so far. It is a mid-weight jacquard polyblend baby with a slightly bigger motif of the damask pattern than her actual one in the show, but I like the fabric weight. I like the look of it, and I like the shine sparkle. This one is probably a no, but it's burnout velvet. I don't want to work with velvet again, but it does have the right pattern if you want to make it out of velvet. Last is a taffeta. Both of these last two ones were from fabric.com. Both of these are the lower end of the price range per yard, but I wanted to see how they look like. This one is okay. It's taffeta. It's got a little bit of that burnout velvet kind of feel. It's the right pattern, but a little bit big. So here they are. Also, last is a little bit of a shout out to this one that I thought was cool, but not at all what I'm going to use, but just a cool fabric. Here's all looking at them place to place. I'm really kind of bummed at the weight of this silk fabric. I thought it would be a little more mid-weight. It is very, very thin. It would be beautiful like a Targaryen nightie, but it's got almost a perfect pattern. I am leaning towards these two. The most expensive one, of course, and my favorite one that I have found so far. So what do you all think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not even an option. Let me know what you think. I want to hear what you would choose if you were making. Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, House of Dragons Day, but I'm here to give you some feedback on all of the wonderful feedback you guys have given me on the fabric choosing TikTok I posted last. So today is the day to buy my fabric, and I have narrowed it down, and I believe I have made my choice. But I wanted to give you guys some updates on some questions and comments that you all made on my last video. 1. A lot of you were really a big fan of the silk fabric that I said was way too thin. So I did some choices. I made some decisions from what you guys have said. I flatlined one panel with some muslin. It's still very thin. I also interfaced another piece with some mid-weight interfacing that I had scraps of. It's still too light. It just won't be able to hold the embroidery, and I'm making twice the amount of work for myself if I choose that one, unfortunately. The other one was the chenille. You all had a lot of good comments about that one, and this is number 2 right now, but I think it's gonna get beat out. I don't like how it's kind of like carpet. I mean, it's already collecting like dust and fuzz, and I don't know, the woven aspect of it, it's not doing it for me. However, do it if you want it. It's a good fabric. It's sturdy, and this will hold beading and embroidery. I just don't think it's my choice. We're going with it. We're going with the number, I think it was number 5 that a lot of you chose and was my favorite. This is what we're going with. I'll show you some pictures on Etsy of like the yardage and what the full motif looks like. So here it is. Here is all of it that you can see. It's got that damask. It's got the look of what I want. I just think this is going to work for me. I love the little shiny bits of it. I love the texture. I think it'll photograph quite well. Here's some more pictures. Please excuse my Family Guy I'm watching, and that's my show I love to have in the background. But yeah, I think this is the choice. The choice. Here is the yardage of the chenille. I personally think these motifs are just too big for me. Comparing it to what Rhaenyra is actually wearing, let's take a look. So here's the side-by-side with the chenille and Rhaenyra's dress. I just think these motifs are just too large. Even if the fabric would work well, I just can't get over those. The motifs are still large on this fabric, but I think it'll look good. We're just going to have to go with it. I got to pull the trigger on a fabric. We got to get started. So here's my choice. Here's the fun fact. Their sale ends in 45 minutes that I can get like $20 off, which is hilarious. Here we go. Clicking buy. Thanks for everybody who sent comments and everything on these videos. You helped me a lot. Hey everybody, welcome to another Rhaenyra Targaryen cosplay update. I've got a few cool, awesome things to tell you all today. I know it's been a hot sec since I've been doing updates, but right now I'm just kind of in the waiting room for getting a bunch of stuff shipped to me and finding out more information from research, but we are now completely fully funded through my Ko-fi goal for Rhaenyra. Thank you to everybody who donated. I can't wait to embroider your all's names into my costume. If you'd still like to donate to the Rhaenyra Fund and have me embroider your name into my costume, you may. The link is in my bio, but we are fully funded now for materials and everything for this cosplay. I can't thank you all enough. Seriously, I love doing these crowdfunding campaigns because I put you guys into the making with me. It's really fun. But anyways, I can show you some things that I have got in and what I've purchased, and also some exciting research details that I just found out like this morning. So just a reminder, this is the fabric we ended up going with for Rhaenyra. I ended up purchasing 7 yards of this because I will be doing a lot of pattern matching to go with for this gown, and so a lot more fabric is needed. So it ended up being a perfect amount. I hope it is on its way here from China, so I'll give you the update when it's here. Next thing I got in is one of the chain trims for her gown. I believe this is a screen accurate one too, so ended up getting this. I hope I got enough. I don't know if I did, but this is for the upper neck area, and I'm over the shoulders and maybe on the sleeves. I'm not sure, but it's this really cool fishbone chain in gold. If you are curious about links and where I'm getting everything and you'd like to follow along on this build a little bit more and maybe purchase some of the stuff that I'm getting, feel free to join my Discord. Link in the bio. We have a whole channel dedicated to this build. So if you are looking for it or you want to make your own or you just want to follow along, please join my Discord. We'd love to have you there. But in that channel is all these links of stuff that I'm buying. Here's one feature that I found this morning while Googling around. I'm trying to find a lot more definition pictures of this embroidery, the dragon embroidery in the middle of her gown. And I found this outline on Alicent's dress, I think from episode 1. Look at this. It's this one. So I believe this is the outline of the dragon embroidery on Rhaenyra's gown. So a lot of work has just been solved for me, thanks to Alicent. Who would have thunk? I do think like down here, it's a little different on Rhaenyra's dress, but the main outline of the embroidery is right here. Perfect. Here's a little side by side. I mean, it is shaped a tiny bit different and some different flares out to here, but mainly the dragon heads, this little floral piece up here, super similar. Huh. The next video update is probably going to be me starting to drape the gown. So we're going to get to the patterning and the muslin stage. This is getting exciting. I can't wait to start this dress. Y'all, I had to make this video before I even sat down to make dinner. Look what just dropped. Detail pictures of the dress. I've been waiting. I didn't think I was going to get these till after I made the gown. I'm not even going to lie. I did not think these would be dropping right now, but it looks like they are, and I want to thank Keen Cosplay from my Discord for throwing these in the Rhaenyra Targaryen build channel right as I was not even joking fabric shopping. It's only these 3 panels that I have found so far. I will go online, search for more, but we finally have definitions of the dragon embroidery. The the arm cuffs, which I needed a lot more definition of, but now I realize it's not chains, it's all embroidery with dagger beads, and just some color correction. Like everything is way more vibrant than in the show. Obviously, everyone has a problem with it being dark, but look how vibrant the reds and the golds and the blacks are. Like, it's so good. Oh. I literally had these beads in my Etsy cart for like weeks, just waiting to see if I would get them because they're actually more expensive than what I would like to spend. But because my Ko-fi goal got funded, you guys bought these exact dagger beads that I believe are screen accurate. If you'd like a link to them, I think they're selling out fast, but it's in my Discord channel on this build. Now let's take an even closer look at this puppy. I am so happy this is so much more detailed. So it does look like the outline of the Alicent embroidery that I found in my last video, but obviously with way more beading and like red and gold and black. But it seems like the dragons are way more bejeweled than I thought they were. I thought they were kind of plain embroidery, like satin stitching kind of thing. But I think you're pretty much beads, check seed beads all over the place with a lot more, of course, like gold work embroidery. So everything just feels slightly more royal. I mean, per obvious, but it's just like I'm using beads instead of like more embroidery thread. And so there's going to be a good combo of a lot of stuff on these guys. And I do think I'm going to make, I mean, obviously I'm going to make this patch. It's not a patch. It kind of is, off of the dress, and then I will sew it in. So that'll be a whole hoop type of embroidery fun stuff that you'll watch me make. So I'm just shook and also extremely happy because some things did change in my buying, but a lot of things didn't. I'm very happy with what I have right now, especially the fabric. I think it's the best of what I can get, and I'm really excited to start on it. But I will say the last video I said I was going to start draping, but we're actually going to start on some undergarments. So the next video you're going to see, we're going to start making a Targaryen petticoat. And when I say Targaryen petticoat, I mean there's going to be dragons on it. Enjoy. Hey y'all, guess what's here? My fabric for Rhaenyra. Let's unbox it together in a traditional TikTok unboxing video with some ASMR maybe? I don't know, enjoy it. Not gonna lie, I am kind of nervous because this is supposed to be 7 yards of fabric, which it's a pretty tight bundle here, but you know, things, I'm just like, are you sure? Did I 7 yards or 7 inches? You know, I don't know. So let's be careful on where we trim. This came from China, which is funny because I never got a tracking number. Nothing ever really came to my inbox except it was just like, it's in pre-transit. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And another one. So they're gonna just like pop up. I do see it now. Oh yeah. Oh boy. This is kind of like Christmas. I can do the, oh, it's in here. It's in here packed. They're not even joking. All right. Ah! Release me. Release me. All right. We're here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I do believe this is 7 yards of fabric, so let's get that first reveal. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely gorgeous. Holy cow. Wow. Wow. Let's go drape it on my dress form upstairs and let's see how it looks like on a form. Okay, here it is on the form, just kind of placed on and draped on. It's coming across on the video a little more gray than I thought it would be, but in reality, it's actually perfect. This is gorgeous. There is definitely 7 yards of it. I don't need to question the yardage anymore, but I am down. I'm very happy with this choice. I think it's got the right amount of royal damask floral aspects as well as texture with a little bit of metallic because Rhaenyra is a queen and I just think this is going to work perfectly. Man, I'm excited. Last night I ended up cutting all of the materials for the petticoat, so I'm starting on that next, and then we will be draping the gown once the petticoat is done. I can't believe the fabric's here. It's getting real. Yay. Thanks for all the love on the last unboxing video of Rhaenyra's fabric. A lot of you have asked either on TikTok or on Instagram or other places where I got the fabric and posting the store. So I'm going to show you where I got it. I got it off of Etsy. Ba-ba-boom. Here is the fabric. Do-do-do. It is from a store called Vinci Store. It is out of China, but this is the fabric that I got. Boop, boop, boop. Beautiful, beautiful. It did come to this much a meter, around that, but it is 10% off right now if you guys are interested. But this is the store that I purchased it from, Vinci Store. I really do like their fabrics. The quality of it was very, very, very nice, and I think I'm going to be shopping here quite often for some Game of Thrones inspired fabrics. I mean, a lot of it is very designer level of, I don't know, weight, look, texture, style, color, everything. Highly recommend the store. Vinci Store on Etsy. The shipping was fairly quick on it. It took about 2 weeks, I think, which is pretty good in my opinion from stuff to the US from China when it comes to things like this. I'm still waiting on charms from India that have not gotten here yet, and beads from France. Boy, this is a project that is just rather worldly. I mean, it's House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. Whenever costume designers and the team create stuff, they pull ideas and materials from all over the place. But pretty neat. However, that is where I got the fabric. And if you choose to make Rhaenyra from this fabric, I'd be honored. Tag me, I want to see your process. Ah, the perils of international shipping. But one of my packages is here for Rhaenyra. Let's do another unboxing. This time it's a package from India, and it is my charms for the upper bodice shoulder area of the black gown. So let's get into it. For some reason, had a hard time coming to my house, so I had to go to the post office to get it, but it's here now. The amount of tape international packages use. Woo! I get it. I mean, I don't want this thing falling open. Come on. I'm not struggling at all. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. Woo! Ah. Yes. So I'll post in this video here, somewhere over here, exactly the spots that these are. So these are actually screen accurate. I'm not going to open all of them, but these are actually screen accurate and they were used in the show. And if you're asking how I know that, you should follow the Game of Thrones costuming group, because there's people that actually worked on the show that are in the group giving out links and things of, you know, places that they bought materials for the show. So that little tiny little leaf charm. Ooh. Exciting. Not as exciting as my Rhaenyra fabric, I get it, but still. I have a bunch of these because there's a lot needed, but yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. Today is Halloween. Just wanted to put that out there, but I am almost finished with the basis of my petticoat for Rhaenyra. So I'm going to add some fun dragon embroidery or trims or something about that right now, and then we're going to start draping the dress. And then will be all of the time of the embroidery and sewing and all of these details of charms and chains and everything. So thanks for following. More updates soon, like real soon. We're starting to really truly make stuff for Rhaenyra now, and so this is going to be my petticoat video. Probably some segments of me showing you what I'm doing, sewing, that kind of thing. But here's what I have so far for her petticoat. Also, my cat really loves Rhaenyra's fabric. He will not stop laying on it. It's that texture. Okay, so this is what I have so far, and this is the first layer of a 2-layer petticoat. So it is really red and black. These are actually bed sheets that I purchased at Goodwill. So her whole petticoat materials only cost me $4, which is kind of crazy. I love using bed sheets for undergarments and things like that. So this is the first layer, and there will be horsehair braid, in the bottom to get that to pop out, because I wanted a very simple gathered similar A-line under first layer of the petticoat, and then the petticoat over top of it will be a little more decorative with some ruffles on the bottom, but still kind of in the look of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Fun trim and horsehair braid added to the first layer of the petticoat. Okay, it's a couple days later, and I did make some changes to the petticoat. I took out the horsehair braid, and I flipped the layers. And so the red and black layer is on the outside with the same fun trim, and the underneath layer is a simple black layer with a ruffled bottom and hem. But the braid needed to come out because I'm putting that in the dress, didn't need to be in the petticoat. So now the fun part begins, is the detail work. And I think I'm not going to put a whole lot because it doesn't need to be weighed down a lot, but I'm going to put some kind of chasing dragon trim all around the bottom hem above that black ruffle on the outside layer. Let's see how it goes. petticoat's finished. Let's take a look. I love it. Woo. Boy, does it twirl well for a petticoat. So these are going to be beaded dragon heads when I get to that point. It's actually Cyrex, Rhaenyra's dragon. Too cute. What do you think? Draping of Rhaenyra's gown has officially started. Take a look. So here is my muslin. Actually, it's not muslin. It's actually bed sheets. My mock-up that I just started for Rhaenyra. So we have from what I think is the spot where that hard line is right across here. And they are princess seams. I realize that there is a godet split in the middle. That'll be worked out later in patterning. But right now I'm just fitting some fabric on the mannequin with my new petticoat to see how this is going to go. And I'm only going to be draping half of the mannequin and of course mirroring it on the other side. Save fabric. I don't need to do both sides. And then I will be moving to shoring up the pattern, and then we will be making or cutting the fabric and making the dress. There's a lot of steps. And if you're not familiar with how to drape a gown or anything on a dress form, I hope this video kind of shows you the process on how we do it. But this is definitely a skill that I learned over many, many years. It's not something that came really quickly to me when I first started making stuff in sewing, but it does work out. So come with me on the journey to drape the gown. I believe this video will just be the mock-up session.
There was me designing this enormous set, which was going to take months and months to work, and we had a schedule. Stepstones is the stronghold of the crab feeder, and we filmed that down in Cornwall. And this is a tidal beach.
And I had this really lovely round piece of marble which had a hole in the middle.
So here we are with the draping right now. I feel pretty confident that the dress part is draped. I've got my seam lines worked up. I've got the height where I want the top of the bodice and the front top of the bodice. I've got the areas in here ready to now drape the sleeve, see what it looks like. And then I can say that the main part of the dress has been draped. I'm not going to drape the center little godet part because that is just going to be easily placed in when I'm ready to do the fabric and stuff. But yeah, looking good.
Wants anything. Oliver, take it. She's been an absolute angel.
It doesn't look like much, but here are the pieces, the main 4 pieces of the gown minus the sleeve on my cutting table, ready to be shored up and moved to paper so then I can move to fabric. Here are her 5 main pattern pieces. Now it's time to cut the fabric. Rista Sejajornen. Hello and welcome in High Valyrian. Yeah, I'm studying High Valyrian Duolingo because I'm a nerd that really loves House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. Anyways, come with me today as we put together Rhaenyra's gown. We are going to cut the fabric today. We're going to flat line. We're going to serge those edges, and I think we have enough time to seam up the gown. Let's do it. This is the base of the dress. It's completed, or at least sewn together. So the next things I'll be doing is the overlay on the front and the godette down here, and then we get into detail work. So I hope you're enjoying the process. We're about to really start to dive in. My last bit of international screen accurate beads, charms, whatever finally came in from Rhaenyra. These are my dagger beads from France, antique. Let's see what they look like. I already have a feeling I did not buy enough. Okay, here we go. So these are the black dagger beads that are all over the top part of her gown. They are antique, actually. This is very well packaged. Pause. Now, as per the Game of Thrones costuming group and many friends in my Discord, these should be the ones that are from the show. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think that's it. Yep. Wow. They have an interesting smell. That could just be the packaging. Holy fuck. Okay. Oh, all right. Oh boy, wow. Oh, these are already falling apart. Here, I'll just pick up this one. Wow. There it is. It's got two little holes to sew through. These are glass, apparently, according to the wiki or the Etsy link. But yeah, there they are. I'll insert a photo in here to show you all where they are on the dress exactly. That they are. Maybe I got enough, maybe I didn't, but they are in a mess. But here's a bunch of them close up. So this is where they are on her dress. So they are these little babies right here and right there. And I believe they're all the way up there. I see them sticking out on the top part of her shoulder. I believe those are it too. It could be a different bead because I feel like those might be bigger, but I have another source for those if we need them bigger. I just don't know the size difference yet, but they're these guys right here. Pretty cool. So this is it for ordering screen accurate charms and beads for now until I can find other things, but I think the buying of Rhaenyra is mostly done until we get to the main parts of the embroidery, but here we are. Everything's finally here. Hallelujah. That took a while. Hello, welcome to another Rhaenyra video. And this video, it's going to be kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff because we're going to be shoring up and basically finalizing the top portion of this dress so we can start all of the embroidery and details on it. So I need to drape those little overlap things. I need to finish working on stabilizing the sleeves and making sure everything is pretty much ready to take on embroidery, and that needs to be stabilized and structured because it's a lot of stuff I have to sew on this dress. So that's what we're doing right now. Welcome to a hodgepodge video. Here is the placement of the little overhangs to the best of my knowledge. Not the fabric that they will be, but this one will, but not this one. But yeah, here's this. All right, so nothing like a first draft, first fitting. This is literally a first draft, but it's holding it all back here. Here it is. Love my jeans, but here's the first draft. I needed to put this on to see where my sleeves would be hitting. And it looks like I need to pin my sleeves in a little closer to me. So I did make a little mark right here. And so this sleeve is now going to be closer to me. Therefore, it's going to be sitting exactly where it needs to be. So FYI to anybody making this dress, the sleeves are a pain because trying to get the point to where it needs to be and also magically sit right under your armpit and close to the dress is kind of hard. So give yourself some patience when drafting and pinning in this sleeve. But hey, we have a first draft, kinda. So yeah, so I'll make this adjustment and see how it looks. Okay, so the sleeves are now laying where I want them. I'm gonna put my arms down, so that's good. Now when I pull the back up,
like it's going to be. Then I have the lacing in. If it's nice and perfect. It's exactly where I want. I had to undo the lining because when I stitch the details, it needs to be to the red, not the red, or it needs to be to the black, not the red and black. More details on that later. So let's drape the front and call it a day for this video. Okay, here we are today. The insert has been added. This is my leftover Cersei Lannister fabric, which is very funny and perfect for this dress. Those things are draped, sleeves are on, everything's stitched. Boom! What do you think? I love it! Everyone and all of the new followers that I have gained after that last video went kind of crazy, but welcome to my Rhaenyra build series. So today we are working on the embroidery detail work of the front of her gown, and I just wanted to show you guys how I've kind of broken down how I'm going to do this because it's a lot of layers and it can be very intimidating, so take a look. Okay, so I have broke it down in Procreate layer by layer of how I'm going to do this. So the first thing is these red lines with beads. And then I will put these mother of pearl beads in, which are right here. I believe, at least that's what I think they are. And then we have the dagger beads here and some of those leaf charms that go over here. And then there is the placement of the chain, big chain boy here with the leaf charms and the wishbone chain that we've been working on. But I can't quite figure out what goes right here. It's like the silvery spots. I think it's a combination of the mother of pearl beads and something else. I need to do some more research on that, but that goes in there as well. And then the last thing that I'll be adding is this beaded trim here. So I'm kind of tired of working on the dress right now. It's at a really good stopping point, and I'm really excited to work on the embroidery and details. So let's get to stitching. So this is my amount of embroidery, beads, charms, chains that I will be putting on Rhaenyra. Let's get into what they are. Here's the wishbone chain with some work done on it already. That will go onto the dress, of course. Some random red threads, needles, some more beads that I might use, might not. A lot of check and seed beads. Lots of them.
These are embroidery trims that I could break down and use as little texture pieces within my gown that are along the lines of what I need. Bag of embroidery floss and gold thread. Some awesome embroidery floss and screen accurate charms from my bestie Silhouette Cosplay. Sent me some old ones from her Daenerys. Some more gold beads. Here are those charms from India that I talked about in a previous video. Here are those dagger beads from France that I also talked about in a previous video. More black dagger beads, some mother of pearl beads. Trims that I might actually take apart and use. I kind of want those little black beads that are already pre-strung to use. Always take a look at, see what is pre-made, and you can always take it apart to use what you need. A whole box of silver and black beads. Now, a lot of this is stuff that I've already had in my stash. So a lot of this is from my old Queen Amidala cosplay. This is from my Kitana cosplay. And just like the cutest little organizational box. It's like a little lunch box that I'm going to fill up here in a second. I also can't forget about my beading and embroidery supply toolbox, which needs to be refilled. But that's got my timbre needle in it, some beading, rhinestone, little pins, some needles, tiny little embroidery hoop. Now let's go bead. Let's get to stitching.
Telekinesis can mess with your head, it's starting to freak me out. So what's the deal with you and Tyler? I'm sorry, were you the only one who got to ask non-archery questions here?
There is no deal.
There's nothing here. Ask my mother for advice. You want to be privy to? No. Nothing. I just will get a smell inside. Visions are about as predictable as shark attacks.
After you saw him.
They took Yvonne away, and then Detective McGilvery sleeping his.
I swear to the following under penalty of perjury. I did not write the March 1999 letter.
Hey everyone, let's finish this piece today, but first I have a couple little updates and some kind of guiding things that I'm doing on this that I wanted to tell you all about. First, I got some new beads in. So these are some more dagger beads to fill in when I run out of the glass ones from France. But I also realized I need some bigger, taller, spikier beads for the shoulders. I got these, which are nice and spiky, but they're kind of small, and I think the same size as the French ones. So I'm looking for much bigger, taller, spikier sword dagger beads, but got these. But I also wanted to talk about some beading thread. I purchased this beading thread from Silver Moon, Montana on Etsy. I'm pleased you can get this anywhere else, but I wanted to pop in and say how important it is for beading thread. I've had a couple of my threads kind of pop while sewing a lot of this heavy embroidery because cotton thread is just not strong enough to hold glass beads like this or to hold a lot of heavy weight on this. So beading thread is much thicker thread to use for heavy beading and embroidery, and I highly recommend. And I'm going to start using this now on my pieces. Very excited about it. Okay, so where we are on this, I had to remove this from the placement I had because I realized the placement was a little off, and it's a lot easier to put these leaf charms underneath of this if it is off. So we are going to continue following this line here with these leaf charms that I got from India. And then I'm going to fill in the spots right here with some of those black dagger beads, and then maybe do some more filling in with the silver embroidery floss if I need. And then this piece will be done. But I can't attach it yet because I have to do the other one, the other red one that's smaller, but will receive the same type of treatment as this one. So let's get to stitching. Okay, so I just finished putting all the leaf charms down, and I believe this now lays nice. Woohoo! That looks great. I just want to come in before I continue to shout out this thread. This is the best thread ever for beading. It does not tangle. And I have been able to move so much faster. I'm putting all of these charms and beadwork down because that thread is extremely amazing. It's not, I wouldn't call it pre-waxed, but it's definitely smooth enough to where it feels it and is not tangling as I'm going through. So I'm going to add some more charms, these little dagger beads right here, and we're calling this piece done.
Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and protector of the realm.
Hi everyone, back again with another Rhaenyra Targaryen video. Let's see where I'm at with this beading. First off, I want to say thank you and hi again to everybody who came up to my booth at GalaxyCon Columbus and said that you were watching me make Rhaenyra and build Rhaenyra here on TikTok. That makes me feel amazing, and I can't believe this series is gaining so much traction. I gotta make this dress pretty good. Next big shout out goes to Smoking Glue Guns, whom I met at GalaxyCon Columbus, and she gave me I think it's a coaster, but it is obviously the Targaryen symbol that I'm going to be using for a beading coaster holder and pin holder for all these builds because aesthetic. So thank you, you wonderful queen. You are amazing, and also go check out her profile. All right, let's get to beading. So this is where we are right now. I have beaded all of these seed beads, check beads, whatever you want to call them, onto the other piece that's going with this. So I have 2 more lines to finish and 1 line to fill in here. And then we can start to move on adding this stuff to this piece. And then the front upper detailing will be done.
Okay, give me a movie or a TV show from your childhood where there was an outfit reveal moment so epic that you wanted to become this person. You were so obsessed with this.
Let's finish this piece.
All I need is one dance and I'll know everything she knows. You free for a dance?
Sure.
I need information.
I was blessed.
Hi everybody. So popping in here and to give you a little vlog update on the dress. I know it's been very heavy embroidery and beading lately, which you guys really like, and thank you. But I wanted to show you that I made a mistake with the dress. So for some odd reason, besides me, I don't know why, but the point for my left sleeve is like super far forward and it should be like right here. For some reason, it is on the right. It's perfectly fine. But on the left, it's super far forward. And to me, this indicates that I have to take the sleeve off and recut it, which would be a nightmare because these are very awkward sleeves. And I've already cut, well, can't see because of the lining, but I've already cut a shape for the armpit and the bottom, and I don't want to remove this. So we're going to do a theater type patch. I'll show you what I mean. So when I say theater, I mean that it's kind of not a great way to do it and not the traditional way to do it, but will work for what you need it, aka costuming. So I took a piece of the fabric in a, triangle look with the interfacing that I'm using, which is fa shape. And then basically I'm going to insert it into here, align where I want my point, which is going to be about right here. And I'm going to match where I need it to go and kind of fade it into the fade it into the sleeve. Now, the thing is this is going to work out fine because I'm going to have a lot of heavy beading right here and it's going to cover this, but I'm going to basically hand sew the outside of the sleeve to the new patch and make it look seamless. I'll show you. Here is our little patch piece that we are going to sew in with the edges serged and the top finished. Okay, so I have attached this piece with a stitch in the ditch stitch right here to try to make that look as seamless as possible. On the back here, I've cut out some of that faux shape because it's super thick. So this now lays nice, even though it doesn't look as nice from here, but remember that'll be covered up in embroidery and beading. So now I'm going to stitch down this piece with just a whip stitch to the inner facing and just like hit that with a lot of steam to get that all to nice blend together, and then we'll have our mistake finished. So now here is the updated point on the sleeve, which is at a much better position on my shoulder. It does look like it's been added, but that will be covered by the embroidery and the beading that goes there. And so now it matches the other side. Yay! This is exciting. And if you guys are wondering why it, you know, the back part of the sleeve is big. So I have bigger arms, and so I needed all of this area to cover it. So it now matches. We can now proceed in the embroidery of the shoulders. Wow. Hello! This video officially begins the... Let me grab it, hold on. The official beading of the little dragon babies that go on the front of Rhaenyra's gown. So today, I finally got the rest of my supplies that we'll need from Michael's and Joann's. So let's go through what I've purchased and kind of map out what I'm going to do, because this is actually kind of small compared to what I kind of thought and what a lot of people thought. So we can get started on this beading and embroidery on a really cool piece for Rhaenyra. So let's see what I got. Okay, let's first talk about some embroidery flosses that I got. Now I realize I'm gonna need like 3 different tones of red to kind of work with. So these are what I call the chenille knockoff thread that I needed for covering some of the bigger pieces around, because it's thicker, you can tell, than the satin silk thread. This isn't silk, but it's satin. So I got 3 different tones of this red. It's hard to tell here, but I did. I got some red and black cording that's metallic that I think would be really neat to add in. I also got some more glass beads for red and black that look really nice. And then I got very similar shape, which I think I might use these for the eyes of little dragons on my guys. And then I got a whole bunch of really beautiful gold metal beads. All of the strung beads were half off today at Joann's and Michael's, so I went kind of ham. But look at these things. These are so cool and fun, and the textures are all weird and different. So we're going to have a good time sewing these down. We're going to couch some of these threads down. We're going to get experimental, because the thing is with this piece is that it's hard to tell exactly how it is, because all of the imagery in it it's tough to find. You know, we have screenshots, we have photoshopped images as much as we can. So at one point, I'm just going to have to do what I want. And I think this is going to be a really fun experimentation of beading and embroidery and gold work and just kind of everything. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this journey on embroidering these little guys. I'm very excited. So let's go and see how I want to map this out. I also got a bunch more stacks of plastic containers to hold all these things in, because I just love putting beads in plastic containers. There's something about the organization that I am just all about. Whew. Okay, we are back to my illustrated version of what I'm going to try to bead. So we're going to start with the dragon heads first and then do this piece all the way down here. I'm going to have these pieces raised up a little bit. The majority of the head is going to be a lot of embroidery floss. So he's going to look pretty satiny, but I'm going to sprinkle in some bright beads as well. And then we'll move on to the center and the outer pieces. So join me along. Here we go. Who's ready for another Rhaenyra update? Actually, not an update. We're just kind of moving through. I just took a little bit of break from her because I just needed a little bit of a break. So now let's get back into it, and I'll show you where I'm at. Okay, this crazy. We are starting on the dragon embroidery that is in the middle of her gown. So let me show you what I've been doing, which looks a little insane, I will say. So here is my interpretation of what
that dragon embroidery looks like in the middle of her gown. And for reference, it is this piece right here. Yeah, so there's not a lot of really good pictures out there of it, and what I've had to do is my own interpretation on a lot of this. So this is what I decided to come up with. I know a lot of it might be different than what you come up with it or another person came up with it, but this is what we're going for. So it's going to be a lot of combination of embroidery and beading. It's actually going to be more heavy on the beading side than the embroidery. There's going to be a lot of embroidery floss and the dragon heads kind of going down the neck and and going down the neck and coming around down here. A lot of the dots that you see are going to be beads. I'm going to use a combination of 3 different tones of red, 3 different tones of gold, black, and yeah, I think that's it as far as beads go. So this is kind of the mapped out version. It's kind of nuts. I really don't know where I'm going to go with until I kind of really get into it. So right now I have the layout like I want. So we're going to transfer the this traced outline to some fabric, specifically whatever I have upstairs. It might be organza, it might be something else, but we're going to get there and then we're going to start stitching, and then this is going to be a continuation of a bunch of videos like you guys have seen already. So let's go ahead and transfer this over to the fabric and get started. To wrap up this video, here's what I have so far. I ended up putting some wool on top of this netting, this black netting, to give just a little raised texture on the dragon parts specifically. I don't know if it'll work, but sometimes I like to have a little undertone underneath the beading and the embroidery that I'm doing. So tonight I'm going to start working on the head with embroidery floss, and you'll learn about that in the next video. But here we go, dragon embroidery time. It's going to be too cute, guys. I'm not going to show you this side just yet because I've been doing some experimenting and trying to get things to work out, but here's what the little eye looks like for him. Super cute. I have some of the floss done on the head. I will show that to you in a bit. Once I get more of this guy done, then you will see.
is where we are on the dragon babies. So the right side one is complete to this point. I still have all of this to fill in. There's like a fleur-de-lis thing up here. This gets filled in, down here gets filled in, and then it splits with a whole bunch of stuff extra. So we've got way more to go, but here's what this side looks like. I really love the embroidery chain stitching I did all through here, and just weird satin stitches, and then adding in the metal beads through here I really like. So now we're just going to mimic this side and yeah, see how that goes, and let me know what you think.
Every airline was forced.
I just have this spot to do. What do you think? All right, let's put the beaded piece on the dress. Whoop. It's a pretty heavy piece, actually. Here's what the back looks like. An absolute mess, but I kind of like it compared to what the front looks like. So what we're going to do, we're going to trim around this, giving a little bit of a 1/4 to 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around, and then we're going to stitch that to the dress. Now the beaded dragons are pinned on exactly where I need them to stitch down. So let's remove the dress, stitch these guys down, and making sure I put all the pieces it needs to go under, seam allowance where it needs to be, and then we'll do some decorative stitching around the outside before I continue down to more stuff that goes on the dress. It kind of goes like that. So that's the stitch down now. Now I gotta stitch these down and start working on more embroidery and beading here. So stay tuned to part 2. Hey everyone, it's part 2 for adding the dragon babies to my dress. So what we have here is we're going to be working on the kind of the spokes of the wheel, I guess you could say, area. This is some poly organza that I singed the edges with to act as that mother of pearl piece that's apparently under here that I just did not do because I didn't want to. But we have some pieces that I've added here, which is just netting that I stitched down. Well, I'm going to stitch down, but they are providing just a little bit more texture, and also they are going to be the lines that I'll be following with a chain stitch of some gold thread on this piece and this piece here, and then the rest of these are going to get red, and I think I'm going to bead some small check beads through these spokes as well. So let's get to stitching. Continuing on the dress tonight, I'll show you where I am. It's looking really good. I'm very proud of the stuff that I'm doing right now. Okay, so a close-up look at what we're doing here. These are single chain stitches of gold thread over top some black netting to give it texture, over top pieces of organza that I burnt on the sides to give it a little raw look. Well, best I could, because the mother of pearl pieces that do go here, I don't have them, and I didn't buy them, and I'm tired of buying things. So this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to finish this side. I have 2 more stripes to do in the gold, and then these ones on the inside get red with some beads. So that's what's going on right now. Here's some more sewing. So I think I've finished doing all of the embroidery work on the side of this dragon. And now I have to do a bunch of beading through here and kind of fill in through here and then all the way down this piece. I don't know if there's anything else I want to add in here, but I did kind of figure out this is like a dragon wing. So I kind of mimicked the veins of the wing. Yeah, so now let's put some beading in through here and finish up this side and cut the video. Salem, do you approve of all of this? All right, so I think this is probably going to be another part 3 or just continuing on this series
We have a lot of beads we need to add in through here all the way down on these pieces right here, but I really like the way this looks. I have a feeling these might be a little too wide, but we'll see when it's done. But it's all chain stitching. All chain stitching. Looks great. Guess what's done, you guys? Guess what's done? It's not the whole dress, but it's my dragon embroidery. Let's take a look. Okay, here it is. Here is the dragon piece that we did off of the hoop, or off of the dress. Here is all the embroidery I did on the dress. Taking a close look at it here. This is all chain stitching embroidery thread. These are seed beads. These are I don't really know the terms anymore. Sparkly gold beads. More beads. But I love the way it looks. I think all of the texture is very visible. A couple changes. I might bring this in a little bit. Add some red check beads throughout here. But I am just amazed. Let's see what it looks like on the mannequin. Oh my dear heavens. This is gorgeous. Wow. Okay, so now that the dragon babies are on, we're kind of at a midpoint with Rhaenyra, so let's have a little chat, and I'm going to tell you what's coming up next, and the visions I have for this dress. So the next thing that we'll be doing is the shoulder points. Those are going to be on a hoop. I'm going to take the measurements because it's going to be very heavy embroidery that I kind of want to map out a little bit first, and so I've decided to put it on a hoop, kind of what I did with the dragon babies, and then we're stitching it on, stitching the piece on onto the shoulders, and I think they'll be okay. The only problem is I'm worried about the weight of the shoulders, so I might be adding further structure into the shoulder points. After that, we're going to be finishing the center back so I can actually start wearing this thing, but I need to decide if I want to do a traditional screen accurate back that they have in the show or just the old-fashioned zipper. I'm leaning towards old-fashioned zipper because it's easier. After the center back, we're going to have the cuffs and the hem, and she'll be done and ready for C2E2, which is the convention I'm premiering her at. Yay! All right, we're starting on the shoulder points now. So I have some felt underneath, some netting that we're going to embroider the beads and pieces on, and hopefully this works. Let's see how it goes. Right now I am taking the leaf charms all the way around the upper perimeter of the shoulder piece, and then I will go in with the dagger beads in between, kind of in a zigzag kind of way, and then between that I will put gold threading. I will be couching down. It doesn't make any sense, but I think it'll work. Let's keep sewing. So I've gotten off the hoop and I've added this new gold mesh trim, and we are sewing in the dagger beads, and this look is pretty neat. Shoulder points are finished. I love the way they look. Hi, let me give you a little Rhaenyra update. She is officially on me now. I have completed the center back. I've put in a lapsed zipper, which I think was the best choice I could have done for this dress, getting in and out of it. I didn't want grommets. I didn't want that look. The zipper is perfect. But now she is a little big, because I've lost some weight since the last time I've put this thing on, and I don't intend to, gain that back. So I have to do some pin tucks right back here. Not too bad. Nothing terrible, but the sleeve corners are done. There's that side. And then there's this side. Very happy. Of course, these are done. I gotta pin these, or finally tack these guys down. And I just need to do the cuffs now. Then she will be C2E2 ready. I'm not really doing anything else to this. I have a lot more to add. I have to continue a lot of the embroidery to the back. I have to finish my petticoat embroidery and beading. But for C2E2, that's coming up at the end of March. This is what I'm going to wear. And of course my wig. But yeah, everything's working perfectly. She fits like a glove. I don't have much movement in my upper arms. This is about all I can do. but that's okay. This is just for costuming. I don't really need to have a whole range of motion. Pretty much I just need to have my hands available to do this for a picture and to say hi and to eat something. So that's kind of all I really need to do or anything. But I'm so obsessed with the fit and this neckline situation. I feel amazing in this. Honestly, I haven't been this excited about a cosplay in a very, very, very long time. Maybe my Clea, but she was a very easy kind of quick build. This is one that's taken me some time, and you guys have been with me on the journey, which I appreciate. All of the love and the follows and the comments and everything on this. So thank you guys for following. There's more to come. After C2E2, I will be making a wig from scratch, so you guys can follow me on how I make my Rhaenyra wig. I will be making a cloak. I will be making the crown. I'll be making a dagger. I intend to make a lot of stuff for this outfit to be able to compete with it later this year at a convention that I will name later. But for now, she's almost ready. Cuffs, gotta get the cuffs done. Oh, and of course the hem. This thing is insanely long, but she is done. Besides what I said, and ready for C2E2. If you guys are going to C2E2, let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll do like a meetup or something. I'm so happy with this. Look at this. Rhaenyra! Yes. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another Rhaenyra build video. And this is probably going to be one of the last build with me type videos for a while because I have a convention coming up, C2E2, like I mentioned in my other videos, that I'm going to have to wear Rhaenyra at. So I'm getting her to the point to where I can wear her out. And yeah, like I said in the other videos, this is a build upon me project, so don't worry, there's a lot of content coming. But for now, we're going to work on the cuffs, which I have cut right here, and this is what they look like on, Rhaenyra specifically. So here is a wonderfully pixelated picture of the cuff. Let's just go find a better one. Aha, okay, so we have a pointed end up here. The sleeves will be hemmed to about 3/4 length sleeve. And we have the same type of trim that we have up at the top parts of the shoulder points on the sleeves. Now, I think in the show, I do think these are bigger dagger beads. Unfortunately, I don't have them, and I'm almost running low with the first round. So we're going to get really creative with these. There is a little section of red. Here, I'll show you. This little section of red that is above the hem of the cuff that I have in the same lining as Rhaenyra's gown. And of course, this cuff fabric right here is the same fabric, matte black fabric, as the upper part details on the chest. So, yeah. So tonight I'm going to build the cuff. Cuffs, plural. And then we're going to result back to our hand stitching, and we're going to add in this trim with the dagger beads, and then we're going to put the tiniest little bit of gold square beads in a zigzag, not zigzag, but I don't know what's this called, in a linear pattern all the way up the cuff. So it's pretty simple, not too crazy, which I kind of absolutely love because I'm getting to where I just want to wear the dress now. I need a little bit of a break. So let's build up the cuffs and start adding in the beads. Here are the cuffs, flat with some edge stitching. Here is the trim that we're going to be top stitching on and adding the dagger beads to. These look really nice. I love that little bit of red pop. The cuffs are on, but I forgot something. I thought I was done, but it turns out I forgot the little beads that go all along the cuff as well. So I'm gonna have to add those on. But she looks great though. Guess what's done? Rhaenyra, phase 1 of Rhaenyra is complete. The hem is now hemmed. I can walk in it. It's a little long, but I'll wear heels. And now she's finished. The cuffs are done. And I just can't stop twirling. I am just like blown away. This is one of my favorite costumes, if not my favorite I've ever made. It's like, You know when you just put something on for the first time and it just fits and works out so well and you're like, I'm a mad genius. I feel like a mad genius. I guess oh wow, my face is like really red getting like that. But, oh man, she's done. I think I need to do another try on with like my undergarments underneath, like my corset and my petticoat, but this thing is just, it's beautiful. It fits perfect. I'm so excited. Just prepare for Rhaenyra spam for the next couple weeks because I got C2E2 coming up. You guys have been following this journey. I'm becoming Rhaenyra Targaryen. It's official. Yes. Y'all, I'm in Rhaenyra. Look at the whole outfit. The whole outfit. It's working. I'm so happy. This thing fits perfectly. The wig looks great. So now I'm going to go and gallivant through C2E2 and Rhaenyra Targaryen. I'm so excited. This is like my favorite costume I've ever made. I love being a Targaryen, and you guys came with me on this. Thank you for this journey. There's more to come. Trust me, there's a phase 2. Ah, Rhaenyra. Many of you have been asking about my phase 2. I've been dropping in a lot of my Rhaenyra videos, so let's talk about it now. Okay, so phase 2. First off, I don't know if many of you know, but this is a competition piece for me. And throughout this entire year, I'm going to be working on Rhaenyra as much as I can, adding more to her, and that's not just to the dress. There will be multiple phases with Rhaenyra to get me up to the competition that I'm going to be competing in November. The first phase was making the dress. Now the second phase is making a new wig. Yep, wig completely from scratch. I don't know if many of you know, but I used to be a wig maker. I used to make wigs for Custom Wig Company. You should go follow them. And now it's my turn to make a wig for Rhaenyra. I am making a wig from scratch for competition purposes because I needed to level up the difficulty for my outfit while competing, and I want to make it to my custom hairline, custom look, and with as much hair as I can possibly stick in the wig. The lace on the one that I've worn this weekend and then the one that I've been wearing for Rhaenyra is a little too dark. I want to get the lace to my actual skin color to be able to blend it in better and just to look better. The wig will be completely customized to my head, size, and shape, and you guys will be there with me while I do everything. That includes making the wig cap, that includes tracing my own head, and venting in the hairs. Every single one of them. So I hope you're excited to join in on that. It seems like you guys are, so yay. Making wigs from scratch is difficult and takes a while, but if you're really interested in wig design and you even making one for yourself completely from scratch, follow along with Rhaenyra and this process and I will walk you guys through the whole thing. So yeah, so that's part 2. I can continue talking about this, but if you guys want to know more about what I have planned, I can make a whole other separate video on that. But that is my announcement for phase 2. I ordered all of the hair and supplies that I need to make the wig last night, so it should be getting in soon. But I am going to be taking a little bit of a break away from this and do some fashion-y projects because I just need to breathe a little bit. This is a lot. This is a lot. Once again, thanks for everybody for following me on Rhaenyra process and for me actually meeting you guys at C2E2 this week. I met a lot of you, and it was amazing. Thank you so much for following me along this project. It's not done yet. Let's keep this train going and keep riding the dragon. Woo. All right, everybody, let's get back to Rhaenyra. It's wig making time. And I finally got the supplies in that I need to make this wig, and this isn't it. So we're gonna go over the supplies that I have purchased and that I am using to create Rhaenyra's wig from scratch. Let's get into it. Okay, first off, we have bundles of synthetic hair for Rhaenyra. This is actually hair from Wiggis Fashion, and it's the exact color they have for Rhaenyra's hair now in the store. So basically it's the same color as my Daenerys wig. It's just straight because Rhaenyra's hair is straight with a little bit of wave, but mostly straight. I also didn't realize that I got really long. Like, I just miscalculated the hair on this. And so it's like Lady Godiva level long. Oops, but we're going to be cutting off a lot of it. And I also got 2 more bundles, so we have a lot of hair. This wig is going to be insane. I'm very excited about it. So the next thing we have is lace for the front. I'm kind of going back and forth on these two, on which ones I want to use. So this is going to be like this area of the wig where the lace is the thinnest, and that's where the small amount of hair is tied into the holes. So I have this one that I think kind of matches my skin tone. Actually, that looks pretty good under the light, so I might use that versus one that's a little more warm. So we have that. We have something for the base of the wig. For those of you who are familiar and not familiar with wig making, there are two sets of netting that you use for making a wig. One is the lace for the lace front, and the other is what we used to call it veg net, but it is just a wider netting and it's a little stronger, so you can put more hair into the hole when you are tying the hair in. So that's that. I have my trusty hooks. They are little ventilating hooks with barbed ends on them. I believe this is the German style. Don't quote me on that. We have my trusty canvas head that will be padded out to my head size once I make my head tracing, which is the first thing that we're going to do. And what the next video is going to be about is me saran wrapping my head and tracing my actual hairline so it looks like it's a second skin type of, like a second set of hair, you know, it's a custom wig. The only things that I'm missing right now are fishing line or invisible thread to be able to sew the pieces that I will be cutting together to blocking the wig. So it's my own / custom wig company style of making wigs that I know how to do. So follow me along on this journey. It's going to be a lot and very new to a lot of people, but if you know how to ventilate your own wig, endless possibilities. So 3 cheers to moving on Rhaenyra and making her wig next. Follow along. I'm in a wig cap, so you know what that means. We're going to trace my hairline for my custom Rhaenyra wig. Follow along this crazy. Now this is going to be a weird video because this is not normally, I don't know what you see on this app. Okay, what you'll need, or what I'm going to use, is plastic wrap, clear tape, and a marker. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap my head, which is basically just wrapping it with this all the way around, including the base of my neck. So when we come back, you'll see my head wrapped, and then we'll start to draw the line. Okay, so my head is wrapped, and I'm realizing now that I have blonde hair in my area up here, so it's kind of hard to see where my line is. So I might have to go to a different mirror and trace my line, and I'll come back and show you it. Okay, to the best of my knowledge, I have my hairline. Now, important things if you're doing this for yourself is to mark your ear, top of your ear, center of your hairline, and to get a buddy to do the back part. I had a really hard time with that, but it's the back of the wig. Her hair is going to be down. I'm not too worried about it, but I know enough to kind of go over the lines that were the back of my neck when I'm making the wig cap part, so it's okay. So here we are. Now, to prevent the markings for coming off, I'm going to cover the lines especially, and then the majority of the head cap, actually probably all of the head cap, in clear tape. Okay, it's completely taped down. The whole head is taped down. Also, when you're doing this, and if you do it, I did not do it too tight, because you want this to be kind of like a second skin. You don't want to like wrap your head and then your wig's not going to fit. And then there's no fun there. So now let's take it off. Ah! Pulled some baby hairs. That's okay. So here's my wig head tracing. As you can see, the back of it was okay, but I also don't have a really low back part, but my front tracing is, yes, not even on both sides, and that's going to be okay because I want this to look like my hairline. I might extend it a little bit just to even it out to make it look somewhat symmetrical, but that's the point of this. I want it to be my hairline, and I want it to fit perfect. So now I'm going to put it on a wig head. I'm going to stuff it to where my actual head size is my wig head, and then we'll move on to making the wig cap. First step of the new wig done. Yay! Okay, we are now finally at the point where we can make the foundation. So just a caveat, this is the way I learned how to make foundations for wigs. Now,
There are several different other ways to make foundations for wigs. There are actually pre-bought foundations you can buy, and then you can just tie the hair in. But this is the way that I learned. You may use the same way that I learned. You might find a different way. Up to you. So if you learned a different way and you want to jump into my comments and tell me I'm doing it wrong, I'm not. I used to do this professionally for quite some time. This is the way that I'm going. All right, let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to do my best in this 3-minute video that I have. So first off, this is the netting we're using. It's called veg net. We are going to follow the grain. We are going to make the holes go up and down as we are setting these pieces. So first we're going to do the back of the neck. We are going to take it across from the top of the ear with about a 1/2 inch seam allowance up all the way across to the other side of the ear, pinning it as well. We're going to pin it here. Oh. I'm going to pin it in the middle, making sure it's laying nicely, nice and even all the way across here. Do the same here, and pinning this down. Oh, I have a strong feeling this is already going to be multiple videos, but we're going to do our best, so let's keep going. So now we got it to here. Now we're going to make some small darts that are going to cup the back of the foundation piece in, and we're going to sew the darts with some invisible thread, and I will show you how. So now I have the sides of these pinned down to where it has formed 2 darts in the back nape of the neck. So I'm going to fold the dart over, making the dart face the inside of the nape of the neck. I'm going to pin it down. We're going to do the same over here. Pin it down where it's naturally laying. All right. So now we're going to trim this out. We're going to leave a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way along this line and then build the next piece. The next piece we are going to pin on is the strap, and it is the piece that goes from the top of the ear all the way across the top part of the head, all the way to the other part of the ear. It's just one big strap piece. Following that grain all the way across, pin. Then we're going to make the line with our pins. Okay, here is the strap. It's about the width of the top of the ear, goes all the way over the front of the head. Wait till part 2, we'll pull the front and do the football in the back. Woo! Oh, I know 3-minute videos of how to do this is super fun. So taking off where we left off. All right, so we're pulling the front. We have, this is for Rhaenyra, part 3, 5. Oh God, I don't know, lost our count. So we have a nice smooth front here where the hairline is nice and taut back here. Basically, we are going to be pulling it back, pinning and forming little darts all over the back, keeping the darts more at the top and back and not at the sides. That's where you want it to lay down the flattest against your head, and so it'll look the nicest. And we're going to actually use this twill tape for the front part, pinning it down, because using the bigger pins like, wow, that one stuck to me. Using the bigger pins like the yellow pins leave bigger holes in the lace. Thinner pins will not leave big holes in the lace, and that is only for your good. Now I'm getting to a tough part with pulling fronts. When you are laying down the lace part of your wig, you do not want to have big darts up here, because what that does is that it pushes the dart out into the hairline, and your goal is to have a very, very smooth headline or hairline. So you want to kind of move the darts more towards the back of the lace where you know it's going to lay flatter, to kind of give it away from the temples and your hairline. That might shift the grain of the lace to where when you are tying down the hair, it might shift a little bit, so just be patient with that. So it looks like on this side of the wig, I'm going to have a dart right here. You don't want a dart near the temple. There's some more bulk on the sideburn, so I'm going to kind of push that over here a little bit and see if I like it there. And I'm using the thinner pins to mark down the dart. I don't know, this dart might be too big, so let's see. I ended up shifting the fabric part of the dart up towards the top of the head a little bit and splitting the darts into multiple spots to kind of diffuse the bulk. And it looks like that's what's going to end up working a little bit better than keeping the darts on the sideburns. So it's laying flatter right through here, right around here, and then just do a little bitty one right there. There we go. Boop. Now I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to cut it down, and then the next video will be tying it all together. Okay, I said I did almost the exact same thing on the other side, so I have 6. Oh, wow, thought I had 6. Looks like I have 5. Nope, 6, there's the other one. 6 darts all the way across the top of the head. This one seems a little bit lower. I might move it up a bit just to be symmetrical, because I'm that person. But now the whole front is laying nice and taut around the hairline with no... Yay! Part 2 of making Rhaenyra's wig. Okay, so now let's place the football piece, which kind of ends the back part of the head. Obviously, it's going to look like a football, and pull the front out of lace. Okay, so placing the football, we're going to take a piece of the veg net all the way across the back part of the wig cap, laying it and kind of tight, a little bit taut through the center. Because we definitely are going to have some darts to do down here and possibly up at the top. But you'll want to go ahead and place that, still following in that up and down grain of the fabric. So have that placed. You're going to have probably some odd scraps through here. Okay, so already I placed it wrong because now I'm having a gap when I lay it down right here. So I'm going to have to replace it. Hang tight. I've never recorded myself doing this, so this is actually kind of difficult. But I am pulling taut across the side here. And pulling over here, pinning it onto, still leaving a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. Oh, all right, still needed to push this on the hole. This is definitely going to change the direction of the hair, but that's okay because I need it to be nice and smooth at the top. Pulling that through all the way. This one's going to have to move too. That's okay. And we've got the top part of the head to lay flat now. Moving pins around this way. I hope this is interesting. Hey. Pinning into a wig head. Okay, now I'll show you how to form the darts. Okay, so the top part here is all pinned down nice. Same as we did the bottom, forming the darts, folding over to the inside back neck. Pulling it a little taut, not too overly tight because we don't want to stretch. This fabric doesn't really stretch, doesn't have a lot of good give. You can get veg nets that have more stretch to them, but I personally don't like them. They're difficult to sew or to tie together, as you'll see here in a bit. Okay. Football placed. Now let's cut it out. Now I did find this a little bit of a flaw that I'm going to be fixing right now because it's my own wig. I look like I cut this strap a little too far back, and I'm going to place another piece of this veg net right here to kind of gap this a little bit because you don't want so much lace in the front because then it's going to take you forever and a day to tie down hair. So that really stinks. So let me go ahead and place this little piece and then we'll pull the front. Using the same principles as the last time, you will need your lace, some twill tape, and some thinner pins. Following the grain of the lace, you're going to stretch it over the complete front of the wig, following the grain, and we're going to pin it down like we did last time, including darts all along the side while taping down the front. I will show you how it's done. Back with part 6, maybe? I'm not sure. But now we're going to learn how to tie down the foundation for Rhaenyra. And this is a good video, and I will try my best to explain how to do this hook pulling procedure method, but it's very similar how I ventilate the hair into the actual wig. So this is a good way to kind of like get into it by just using a single strand of thread, but give yourself some patience here, I promise. So you'll want to have your ventilating hook. I'm using the German style, which it's so hard to tell. I don't, the makeup, is that, remember when makeup artists used to, I don't know. Anyways, there's a tiny little hook at the end versus the whole hook is the needle itself. So it's like a little barb that you pull through. So I'm going to try my best to show you all a close-up version of how to do this stitching method. Here's a fun thing. Now you get a cat butt in this in this video. So, woo. Okay. So I already did the left dart here, so you can kind of see how smooth that's laying down with the invisible thread. You'll definitely want to use invisible thread if you are making a wig for any reason, because you don't want to see the thread that helps pull everything together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some thread here, pull off a little bit. And we're going to make a little loop. I'm going to do my best to try to show you all how to do this. We're going to take a little loop, and then we're going to dive in to a little bit of the dart itself and the wig base it is. So let me zoom in a bit. All right, bless me here, but here we go. So we have a little bit pulled onto the hook itself. You can kind of see the barb at the end. There's a good lighting where you can see it. We're going to take the thread and hook it on the barb. We are going to pull through and hopefully get the thread all through that both holes. And we are going to take the hook, pull it this way, wrap it around, and then pull through the piece itself. Wow, so now it is hooked like so, and we're going to do it again. Moving on down about 3 or 4 hooks apart or holes apart. We're going to wrap it around, and we just need to do the one thread this time. We don't need to do both of them since it's already grounded. Wrap it around, hook grab down and through the netting up, so we have the loop right there. Grasp it around, pull through, and then pull tight. And that is basically it. So the next video will just be me doing it over. We are continuing working on Rhaenyra's wig. I've done a little bit of tying in some wefts onto the netting base. So I want to show you what it looks like before I show you how to do it, because I had to get my rhythm back. So I sewed 3 wefts on the back. So take a look. So here we are with the 3 wefts. As you can see. Now, if any of you are asking why I'm sewing in wefts and not tying in hair right now, it is to build up bulk. This wig is going to need a lot of hair. She has a lot of styling. So when we used to make Daenerys wigs back on my old job, we would fill these wigs with rows and rows of wefts of hair. And then I will go in on the sides, around the ears and down the neckline with tying in hair when it's time to get to that point. So I'm going to be sewing in wefts of hair all the way probably till the mid back part of this. So not necessarily all the way up to the crown, but a good way. And what that does is just adds in a whole lot of hair. It's also way faster to do than to tie it in. And then you can go back in and fill in spots with more hair by tying it in if you want to. But this is what I'm doing right now. We are sewing it very similar in the same method that I did to sew the wig cap down. So I'll show you how to do it. Here are the wefts of hair that I have. So I'm going to be cutting off the length of this that will go along the back where it needs to be. This is to measure and to slice where I need it to slice. All along the back part of the wig. Pinning it down as I go. Without having to measure exactly how much I know I'll need. And then just cut it off. And this mess happens where you have to separate the hair from there you just cut off. Wide tooth comb is your best friend when doing any type of wig tying and venting, trust me. Okay, here we are. So apologies for the wobbly cam. This camera is literally just balancing on a tripod between my legs. So what we're going to do is that we're going to stab the weft, do the same method as we did the rest of the foundation, pull it up through a cell in the foundation, loop around, and pull through using the invisible thread. This does take some time and practice because sometimes your thread does break, but this is exactly how I add in the weft. Same tying method as I did on the foundation, all the way across, trying to catch the weft as I'm moving across. That's basically it. Next video, we will keep on going. Hi there, back again with making Rhaenyra's wig. Let's continue on sewing down this dart using this method. So as before, we are going to dive our hook into the folded over dart and the hook, or the hole below. Have it on both hook, wrap around with the invisible thread, catching on the end of that barbed needle, pulling it through all of the holes that you dove into, having your hook and loop over here, grabbing your thread on the left and pulling it through the loop all the way through. I promise this will get faster and easier with practice. I have been doing this for years, absolute years, so I am very fast at it, but feel free to ask questions if you would like to know. I know I need to research the size of German needle I'm using. I am not sure if it's a 5 or an 8, but a 5 or an 8 and a 9. No, I use 8 and I don't know which ones I use. But all we're going to do is thread this entire upside here and then right back down, just like we did this side. See how nice that lays? So it's nice and smooth on both sides. And then once we have the darts down, I'm going to go ahead and probably do some time lapse of sewing the rest of the wig cap together, because it is literally just this process all around the head. There is nothing fancy that goes on. I'll show you. We do fold up once all the darts are sewn down first, all the way around the head. We do end up folding the edges of this up, so it makes a nice little hem, and then we stitch across using the same method. Takes a while, but it does look really nice in the end. And I am moving the darts, the pins around as I'm moving up the darts. It's just kind of keep it not moving. Down and up. You don't want to grab too much, too far away from what you have pinned down, because you don't want to pull the net too much that it could rip when you're putting it on. This is probably some kind of crochet hook thing that I'm not sure of, but this is the way I learned to do it. So now we're at the top of the dart. I'm going to go ahead and remove the pen and keep going. So the next video is going to be a time lapse of me just doing the rest of this thing. We'll get back into more needlework when we start tying the hair in, but essentially this is kind of how you do it. Kind of. It changes a lot more when you have hair, trust me. Yay! Let me know if you're enjoying this. This is taking a while, I know. Thanks for following. Hi! I know it's been a bit, but I'm back and we're talking about Rhaenyra's wig right now. I have started tying in single strand hair, so I'm going to give you guys a close-up of what that looks like, how I do it, all in this video. Because the rest of this wig, we have all of the strands, all of the wefts sewed in now, and the rest of this wig is going to be tying. So up until I get to the point of the front and where the part is, it's all just the same stuff. So let me show you how I'm tying this thing. Okay, as you can see, we are going in with some knots on the single cells of the back of the veg net, and I'm going with some pretty, I would call them larger knots back here, because it's the bigger part of it's the area where I can build up the most bulk, so nothing is too small. But I am using the hair off of the weft here to tie in with my hook, using pretty much the same method as I do when I sew the weft on. Yeah, words are just slipping me today. So let me go ahead and show you how I tie one in. Now, just an FYI, this takes a lot of practice. If you are interested in getting started on ventilating, I can make a whole nother video to slow down how I'm doing this, how to show you, and we can go over that there if you like. Put that in the comments. But for this, I'm just going to kind of briefly breeze through how I'm putting this hair in. Also, peace be with me, because I've never recorded myself doing this. So it's a messy type of thing, this wig venting is, because you better be used to getting hair everywhere, because when you start putting in single strand hair on the basis of the wig, it goes everywhere. But essentially, this is what it is. You are looping
taking a bar on the foundation underneath the hook. You are putting the hair, grabbing it on the hook, taking it through the hook, and looping back and around, pulling it through. The amount of hair you put on each one varies with the size of hook that you're doing and where you are putting it on the head. But essentially, this is it. I'm doing a kind of a bigger pull back here because I can do bigger knots back here, but when we get to the front, the knots have to be very small. Therefore, there is less hair in the knot. When we get to the part where we're at the front of the hair of the wig, you will definitely notice a difference because also the holes on the lace are smaller and more delicate. But this is how I'm doing and how we're going to keep going. If you have any questions about this, put them in the comments. I will answer, but this is what probably the next 2 nights I will be doing. Oop, missed that one.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you all a quick Rhaenyra update. We are still on the wig, but I'm on the front now. So I wanted to show you how small these knots are on the front, because I know you guys have had questions about how big knots are towards the front of a wig, and I will show you.
Okay, so what you're looking at is the sideburn on the right side of my Rhaenyra wig, and I am literally putting in 1 to 2 hairs along the edge of this front. Now, when it gets a little further back, it's like 3 or 4 hairs with mixed in 1 or 2 hairs, but when you are tying hair onto a front of a wig, it really is maximum 4 hairs per loop. Like, it's so small. Focus. There we go. Like right there. See how tiny? Anyways, I've this much left to do, then we'll be done.
Hey y'all, we have an update on Rhaenyra. The wig is finished. Let me show you what it looks like. Here she is in all her very unstyled glory. All of the hair has been placed in, and I wanted to show you something really cool. So I put I call it like a half part, kinda, because the style of her hair is parted and then kind of pulled back where it needs to go. And I didn't have that in the other wig. So I think this is gonna definitely make a style change. It's really cool. Let's look a close up a little bit. Tiniest of tiny little hairs. And there it almost looks like there's no hairs in there because this is so blonde and the flash I have on right now is a little bright, but I think it looks really good. And now we are going to kind of calm down the flyaways a little bit and get to restyling this hair back, or styling this hair back into the style that I did for Rhaenyra. So wig is completed. Took me almost a full month. Wow. Look who is out of her braids and ready to be styled. Rhaenyra. So let's start the styling. Well, at least go over about how we're going to style. I can't do a full styling in 60 seconds of a video. Okay, here she is out of her braids, brushed. So the first thing we're going to do is start sectioning off little bits of hair in the front and steaming them down to where they come a little bit over the line where the knots are, because that is a hack trick to cover lace for film and TV and cosplay, is to have little traces of hair that go in the front. And Rhaenyra's style for the black wig does definitely have this. So we have a part here in the center. All of the hair has been tied back and down. So the first thing we're going to do, here's the old wig, is start working on these braids and sewing in 2 massive braids at the top underneath that will add into the style. Here we go. Okay, to explain this a little bit more, so this top braid of Rhaenyra has been kind of French braided by pulling hair into the top part, into this back part that will go over the wefts that I have sewn in right here. And then this bottom braid doing the same similar aspect, and we'll be pulling it in there. So this is what ultimately it's going to look like in the back without everything being tied down or pinned down yet. So take a look. So we have the top braid here coming in back, going under the bottom braid that will meet here and flow down. Then the top part here will come up and down and behind my ear. So essentially it's all going to be pinned together and sewn together, which I will expand more in the next video because I still have to do the other side. But that is essentially the design that I have come up with. It's intense, but it's not too bad for Targaryen hair.
Hey everybody, we're back with another Rhaenyra styling video. So this will probably be the last one in this series because now I have the style set, and then we're going to steam it and then do a trim and then she'll be done. So let's take a look. Here is the back set like I want it to be. Top braid, bottom braid, pulled back, topsy-turvy for those who know, over it. And I will have metal clasps that will go here and here, so to cover up a little bit of the wefts that you're seeing. Up top, it's not as beautiful, but you know what? No one's going to be seeing the very top part of my wig, but the braids are pulled up and down, and they run alongside, which will be the backs of my ears. So, and then now I have the hair around the hairline pulled forward, so we're going to steam everything down, get these flyaways to lay down, and then style and cut it. Here she is. I'm in love. This thing turned out great. It is way different than my one from Wickes Fashion that I styled. This one is way more screen accurate. This actually looks like real hair. However, it's a lot of hair. Like, it is sliding on back a little bit on my head, which means I just need to pin it down a little bit more and have a little more securing braids up here. But it fits like a glove. This is great. So let's do a little twirl. Let's do a little twirl. Shabayam, shabayam. I'm so thrilled with my Rhaenyra wig. This is beautiful. It's not trimmed yet. I need to figure out how long I want it to be, so I think I'm probably going to end up cutting about this much off of everything. But it looks great. Wow. This took me, I don't know, maybe 3 months to do. But man, I am so happy with the way this turned out. What do you guys think? Yeah. Another little video talking about the style. I know in the last video that I posted, there are some pins that you do see. And you know what? That's just gonna have to be the way of the land, because I'm trying to figure out how I kind of want it to lay on me while I'm in costume. And I do like this, but I most likely will have it all behind me. And to have these braids secured behind my ears also helps keep the wig in place. So that's really helpful. And there needs to be a little bit finagling in the back, kind of around where the wefts are sewn in. So I might need to move these top braids down, if you heard any of that. But this thing looks great. Gosh, what do you guys think? A custom wig, completely hand-tied. I even love the little bits around here. Like, it just looks, it looks like Rhaenyra. It's amazing when wigs look like real, actual hair, right? Learn to make some wigs, y'all. It's so fun.
I literally have nothing to say except that I made this. This came from my hands.
Hey! So, I know I've been holding back some Rhaenyra content for you guys, but that's just because I'm getting ready for a competition, and I am trying out some things, and I wanted to wait till they were done to show you all. So I'm kind of mostly done with everything right now. Let me show you what I've made for Rhaenyra to go with the costume for a competition, like I said, which I will detail in a later video. So let me show you what I've done lately. And I promise I will have a breakdown video for each one of these things that I show you. Remember that petticoat we made eons ago? Well, now I finished I'm halfway through, the dragon embroidery on the front of it. Yay! I added more hair and extended the sides of the wig of Rhaenyra. And finally, the coup de grace, I made the dagger. The prince that was promised dagger. But here's the fun part. It lights up and glows the prophecy. Yep.
Your drink of choice.
A Negroni.
I was going to say the same thing.
Magliato. With Prosecco. Magliato. With Prosecco. A Negroni.